So let's run that. So to answer the question about how do you go back and revise your criteria, when you're here, you click this button here. And that will take you back. Okay, right there.
You have to address the area question as well.
Oh yes, and then there's your area field, right? Who's the lady that needed the area? There it is, right there. She's not here, is she? Yeah.
Maximum number of searches that the most recent searches will save?
That's a great question. The recent searches will save your last 20, but you can save as many as you want. So recent searches is basically you're searching, but you're not saving them. It'll save your last 20. If you choose to save them, and we'll show you how to do that now, then that you can have as many as you like. Okay. So let's go back into our search and let's show them how to save the search. Okay, so we've shown you, statistics. Let's quickly cover the statistics button and then we'll show you how to search. Okay, so we were clicking on the stats button. Here we go, that's what we wanted to show you. To get statistics, you click there, it's a summary. And if you want to get more detailed statistics, you can click on the view print statistics. Well, you've got to check them off first, though. Select them all. Just select them all because you're not going to get them statistics otherwise. Yeah. And then you can view your statistics in detail. This is designed for you to be able to email it or print it. You can see your photo and everything's there. You can view these statistics in a chart view by selecting from the menu. So if you click there, it'll go to charts, and you can see it in charts. And there's also an option that's a combination of the two. If you like this display better than all the others, you can favorite it by clicking the little star. Okay? Alright, let's go back. For the lady who wanted to know about the area.
There, but I think she
Okay, well we'll come back to that later, then I'll show her that at a break. Yep. Alright, so we talked about being able to move columns. Let's show you now how you can actually create your own grid, so you can have whatever pieces of data you want. If you click on the customize grid, this will actually allow you to modify the display, so you can change what actual fields of information are there. So here we have selected fields and here we have available fields. Everything you see in the selected fields, that's those columns you saw when you were looking at the grid. So you can move things around and you can add fields. Now, I don't want to mess with this one because this is my standard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy it and I'm going to give it a name. So you can create your own grids. An example might be if you search for condos, you might want a grid that has condo information. You know, what does the tenant pay, that type of thing. There are different fields of information than you would look at if you were looking at single family homes. So you might want to create your own condos display. That's an example. So once you're here, now we can move things around. So let's start by moving the picture down a couple. You want to move things, you simply highlight it and you move them up or down. If you want to remove a field, let's remove the field. You simply highlight the field, and if you hold the control key down, you can do multiple fields, and then hit remove. It's very easy. And on the left hand side, I want to find a listing, and what she's doing is she's using that find command, and we're going to add basement type. So highlight it and hit add. So you can build your own grid anyway, and you can have as many grids as you like. Be aware that it is property type sensitive. So we're just building this grid for residential. If I wanted to do something different for the other property types, I would click on the appropriate type. All right, let's save it and let's go back to our list. Now, when we go back to the list, it's still going to show the old display because that's our default. But if we go to the drop down, Mackenzie can go and change it to the one she just created. And now you'll see it being, now you see that's completely different looking than what we came from. That's the one she just created for herself. And I'm going to show you how you can make that one your default if you want. So it's very customizable. Again, you don't have to remember how to do it, just remember it can be done. So if you want to learn how to do it later and you want to make changes, just call us or we can look at the videos. Okay, let's do a different type of search. So we did the standard search. I would like to take your attention, let's do the custom search. The custom search is literally just that. This has more or less the same fields that you have on the standard search. You'll notice if we scroll down though, we also have fields for the listing agent and office. I wanted to point this out. If you want to do searching and you're only interested in your listings, your office's listings, or your own, you can actually type in a particular listing office if you want to narrow things down. That's just one way of doing it. So the custom search, there is a revised custom search set up here which works very similar to what I just showed you. We're not going to go into that. Just want you to be aware that you can create your own search template using this. So let's just do a really simple search. We'll just do residential, single family homes. Let's do 1 million plus and 4+ beds. I want to get some search results, but I don't want too many. Let's see. Yeah. Oops, you were up there, 4 beds, right below it. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see how many we get. That's fine, 33. We can live with that. Let's just hit search. View results, search. There we go. All right. Now, so we're already familiar with all this. I want to show you how you look at the detail of a listing. To look at the detail, you simply click the listing number. That will take you into the detail view. When you're in the let's turn off the find command. That's better. Yeah, there we go. That's good. All right. We're not going to go over all of this, but I just want to point out a few things. On our system, if you click the picture, it will open up the full picture gallery. So now you can swipe through and look at them in all their glory.
Can that format be changed, what you have on that screen?
What do you mean?
The layout of
You mean
the way the info is presented?
No.
Can that be custom?
No, this cannot be customized. That's yeah.
We'll show you how you can run reports, just like you did in your previous system. We recreated some of those licensee full reports, the licensee full 1 page. We recreated those, and she'll show you how you can access those in a few minutes.
Are you talking about it from the point of view of presenting it to a client? No.
Information.
Yeah.
Formatted.
No,
versus where I want it.
Yeah, on this particular view, that's what it is. Yeah. All right. The other thing I want to point out as we scroll down below the picture area, we do have links here to third-party sites. We sort of alluded to this earlier. So, for example, if you wanted to know the flood status for this particular property, there's a button there that will take you to My Flood Status. There's the button Remine that would take you to the tax record, transaction desk, etc. Those links will vary depending on whether you own the listing or not. If you own this listing, you'll have links to other places that only the owner would have access to. So I just want to bring your attention to that. And if we carry on down, we have links out to the listing agent and all the other information. When you're in the listing detail view, if you want to go to the next listing, we don't have to go back. We can just click this little forward arrow, and now it'll bring up the next listing. In the view. Let's keep going. Let's do another one just to show. See if we can find. What I want to find is a listing that has a lot of property history. I don't know if we have any. Let's check on the property history. There's a link there that will take you to property history. You can also access it from the icon on the grid. This is your property history. It shows you information about this listing, and then it's showing you all the status and price changes. If you own this listing, you will see all sorts of tabs. If you're the owner, you will see everything that was ever done, like when you've added an open house, when you uploaded a picture, the last time you changed an amenity. Because I'm looking at somebody else's listing, I just get to see price and status changes. Let's get out of here. Let's see if we can find one that's been listed more than once. Maybe, I don't know, let's try that one. Let's see if that one. I want to see if I can find one that's got history that goes back more than once. Yeah, there's an example. Okay, so in this example, here's the active listing, and then at some point it was listed before and it had expired, just so you can see. So it will just keep going for all the different instances that this property was on the market. Okay? All right. Now, we talked about the action buttons, and remember I told you the action buttons will vary depending on where you are. Because we're in listing detail, we have a new action button called Neighborhood Reports. So I'd like you to see what that looks like. So this is based on census tract information. So it shows you what census tract this particular property is in, with some summary demographic information. And if we go down, you'll see it's all sorts of things like drive time, professions, etc. Again, this is designed to be able to be emailed or printed to give to your clients, so all your contact information is there. So that's the neighborhood report. This is based on census tract data, and we update that every time the census data is updated. So it's always going to be the latest information that's available. Let's go back. So while we're here, let's do something with this listing. So we're looking at it, and let's run a report. So if you click, there's a reports button, and now it's going to take you to a bunch of different reports that you can choose from, and some of them will mimic views that you were used to on your old system. So let's check one of those and run it. You guys will have to play with these. Once when you look at all the reports, you'll see which ones are your favorites. We're just going to try and highlight a few. This should look somewhat familiar to you. This is we try to mimic the layout that you had on Matrix. But you also have a lot more that you can do in our system. So let's go back to reports. We have a whole section called custom reports. And this is just a few of the things you can do. We are not going to cover Custom Report Writer today, but I do want you to know what it's capable of. Anything you see in this section here is exactly as it sounds. It's customizable. So if you like a report that's in here, but you'd like to make a change to it, you will be able to. So we're going to run a couple just to give you an idea. We happen to pick flyers, but there's also multi-line reports in there as well. It's going to take a couple of minutes because it's pulling it up in PDF. But I just want to point out that you can get very creative. So here's an example of a for sale flyer, okay, with 3 pictures. Now, let's say I love this, but my office colors happen to be green and white, or green and blue, or whatever. I could change all of this to match my colors. I could move things around. You can customize these, and we will, there's another example of a different type of flyer. So everything that you see here, including the clip art, all of this is customizable with using our custom report writer. So you can print them, and if you like them and you want to copy them, you can. But we're not going to cover that today, but just be aware that you can, and when you're ready to do it, we'll happily walk you through it.
Where's the neighborhood report comes with a report venture, right?
I'm sorry.
Is the report
the neighborhood report?
Yeah, it's under the report ventures under neighborhood report, right?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure I understand your question.
I say the one you just show us, the report.
The neighborhood report? No, okay. To get to the
let's go to the report.
Yes, reports is where we went to get to get those flyers. The neighborhood report is a separate button.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Let's say I want to email this. Let's click on the email button. So when you're here, because we're emailing, it's going to ask us what format we would like the listing to be presented. So if you click here, you get a choice of all these different options. And again, we're not going to go through all of them, but if you liked one of those flyers, you could use that as your option, and just hit go, and then you would type in the email address. Now if your contacts are already in the system, you can click here and then choose from your list of contacts and add it that way, so you don't have to type it all in.
Do you have to pull your contacts in?
No, we pulled them in for you.
So they're there.
And we'll cover that after the break.
Okay,
Yeah. Oh no, we didn't. Would make you do that. Okay. All right, and then if you wanted, now the message that comes up here and the subject line, I'm going to show you how you can set all that up in a minute. When you're running an email, if you'd like to see what your customer is going to see when they click on the link, you can just check here and it will just show you the format that you've chosen to send to that client. So when your client receives the email, this is what you chose to send them, okay? If you want to save this listing for later, let's go back. Yeah, we'll just hit cancel and go back. When you're in a listing detail or when you're on this grid, it doesn't really matter which way, you can check a listing off and let's check a couple, and you can add them to a cart. So this is how you can take specific listings and add them to a cart. You can add to an existing cart, or you can create a new one. And we'll just add them to an existing one, it doesn't matter, just for the sake of. Okay, so that's how you can just keep track of your listings and hit add and onto your own. Okay.
Is there a maximum number of carts?
Don't think so. No, I don't think we do have a maximum number. Okay, then if you ever want to access your carts later, you can do so at any time from the carts button up there, and just click on it. And then there's all your carts, and then when you want to access them, just click, let's open up one of them, doesn't it? And when you've got your carts, then you can email, run reports, etc. Okay? Let's go back to the home menu. So remember our recent searches? See, now it's the custom because that's the one we just did. Let's click on that again. I just want to show one other thing you can do. When you click off listings, we're going to cover this a little later on, but I just want you to be aware. There's also a prospecting button. If you click there, it allows, you can pull it up, it would allow you to add them to your prospects cart. So you have your own carts. I'm going to show you how you can set up a cart for your prospect. And at this stage then you could save the listings to your prospects. We'll cover that a little later, but I just wanted to be aware of that. Okay, where are we? All right. Let's save this search. We run this search all the time. I know I have it in my recent searches, but it's going to go away eventually because it only keeps the last 20. I want to save it permanently. This is a search I run a lot. To do that, you click the save button. Now when you're saving the search, of course, it's saving the search criteria, not the actual listings. You can give it a name. So we'll just call it something. And these can be unlimited. You can have more than 20 save searches. And then we'll hit more. Now the reason I wanted to show you this is you can also, remember we created that special grid? When you save a search, you can also attach a display. So if for this particular search, let's say every time I run it, I would like it to come up in the display that we created earlier on. I can attach that display to this search. So in the example I gave before, if you create a grid for condos, you can save a condo search and always have your condo search coming up in your condo display. And then you can create one for your single family, and anytime you save a search for single family, have it come up in your single family display. This is optional, you don't have to do this, but I just want you to be aware it's there. Your default sort is here, but you can change it on the fly if you want, and then hit save, and that is now a saved search. And anytime you want to go back to it, if you go to the home page, it will now be in the saved searches module.
Can you rename that?
Yeah, you can. When you're looking at your saved searches, you'll see if you click on it, it will just run the search. If you look, there's a little settings icon. If you click there, it'll take you back in. You can change your criteria, change the name, do whatever you want. All right, let's do a hot sheet. This comes back to your question about 24-hour market watch. Yes.
I'm sorry, what about auto emails that are set up for the...
I haven't covered that yet. Covering that later. Yeah, after the break. We'll get in there. We'll be there soon. Okay, I'll cover that.
One more question,
Yeah.
which if you will cover, it's fine. When you do a radius search,
yes.
You know how it used to show 1 mile away, 0.4 miles away. I didn't see that happening now. Is there another way you could add that back in?
We'll cover that in a little. We'll cover radius search in a moment, okay? All right. So let's talk about hot sheets. We talked about the 24-hour market watch, but this is the whole MLS. So I don't know how useful that is to you because it is the entire MLS. You probably are more interested in a more finite area, okay? So what you would want to do is run a hot sheet. So if we go to searches, you have a hot sheet. You can run hot sheets as a map search or a form search. We'll do it as a form search. This looks very similar to the standard search. It has your areas and your counties and everything, but it has these two sections at the top. One is the time period. What time period are you interested in? And the next section, what activity are you interested in? The time period can be expressed as a date range or number of days back. So we're going to choose number of days back. Now, if I want this to be a 24-hour market watch, I'll go 1 day back. But I could go 3 days back, 5 days back, however you want it. We'll just do 1 day back. And then it's going to ask me what type of changes I want. So I'm going to ask for new listings